leadership,
respect,
excellence, integrity,
compassion,
service.
I would describe my job as being very challenging, very rewarding, and very difficult.
intense, challenging, and fun.
Fast-paced, necessary, and rewarding.
Being a CNA is, it can be very humbling. It is very hard work at times, but it is one of the most joyful things I've ever done in my life. I love it. I love coming to work. I love my patients. I love my coworkers. And I've never felt that way about any job ever in my life. It's just way cool.
I would say I'm probably one of the luckiest managers here because I have a wonderful support system, and I think that everybody looks out after everybody.
I want to try to make a difference in just one person's life in a day. And I find with that type of an attitude that I end up making a difference in more than one person's life every day.
Nursing wouldn't be nursing without wanting to cry sometimes and having a sense of humor. And I've cried plenty of times with patients. I've prayed with patients. I've joked and laughed, and all of that is part of compassion.
Being a nurse to me means compassion and respect and a willingness to keep going and being tenacious if you need to be, and just caring.
It's my calling, I think. I just wish I would have found it years ago, because I'm getting old.
Work is my second family.
When you're taking care of a patient who is painful or has had a surgery, or maybe even someone who has a chronic long-term illness, and you see just one smile on their face, or they hold your hand for a minute and just know that you're there and you're doing just those little things for them, it makes you feel fulfilled, makes you feel a sense of accomplishment, and so that when you go home, it's like, wow, I want to go back and do that again tomorrow.
I told myself if I could do what she did for just one person, I would have done more with my life than I ever had before. And so from that time on, I've been just determined to do whatever I could to see if I could get into nursing.
In general, nurses are angels. You know, they're like part angel, part Wonder Woman.
You know, teamwork is really essential to really every unit that you work in.
I think when a patient walks in a facility and they see the good-natured behavior between their caregivers, it instills a sense of confidence.
Teamwork is huge. If we didn't have teamwork, then we couldn't get the job done. Our teamwork is amazing. We're not only here just to do our jobs, but I feel that we're all family.
How teamwork affects patient care is when we are all doing the job together and it's really, really busy, the patients don't notice.
I'd say the culture of the staff at Good Sam is, it's like a big happy family. Everybody seems to work together seamlessly and support one another while caring for the patients.
Our team is like a family.
I feel like there's sort of a safety net or a family or something that's going to want you to succeed and, you know, help you achieve your daily work duties.
Well, teamwork makes trauma go round. You can't do really anything in healthcare without being part of a team. It is a teamwork process.
We had a patient who was coming towards the near end of their life, and everybody in the unit rallied around to make sure that the patient's son was able to get married here at the hospital, and that she was able to be fully dressed and looking beautiful, and to see the wedding here at the hospital and have it be a memorable occasion.
I have been impacted at work positively a lot through my coworkers.
One in particular, she comes to work every day, happy.
He kept telling me, you know, you're a bubble. And I said, why do you say that? And he says, because you're perky. You know, when I walk in the door, you got a smile on your face, and that makes things okay.
An experience I had one time with a patient who, it ended up really affecting me, but not only me, a lot of other people that I talked to about it. He just explained life to me in just a very clear way. It was kind of a meant-to-be sort of situation. And it led me in a direction that I think is very beautiful.
I did have a patient at one point in time who came into our department that we had had a very difficult time trying to talk him to come back into the clinic after about a week post-op of surgery, and he wasn't doing very well at home.
The best experience I can tell you of anything is when I was through the bariatric program, the surgery had a little glitch in it, so I got an infection and we had to come back in. As a result of that, they were able to identify and spot that I'd had some cancer that was on my kidney. And had it not been for the infection, they probably would have no way of identifying it.
But it all turned out really well. He's done remarkably well and has been a success story, but more importantly, I think he taught us all something about teamwork, about how when we all work together, we can really accomplish and overcome an awful lot.
When I woke up, there was a woman, young lady, in my room, and she says, "You don't know me, but I was with you last night in OR." I went kind of away over in a corner, and she says, "I prayed for you."
I had an RN that I worked with, wonderful gal, and there was a family who was having a very difficult time coming to grips with the fact that a very young family member was at the end of their life. And I'll never forget this night where the RN went in and she began to sing. And all of us on the whole unit started crying. And that just touched me more than anything, that she could, in the midst of family's grief, be able to give that gift to them.
Every once in a while you have a patient that you take care of that makes you feel truly blessed to be able to take care of them. There was one patient I remember, she just always had grace about her. She was always so thankful and gracious with everything, and you felt honored to take care of her. And I will always, always remember her.
There are some patients who are truly inspirational in terms of the courage that they have and the grace with which they face some terribly horrific circumstances.
Respect is essential.
By showing respect, you gain the trust of your patients.
Respecting your patients as individuals, because when people come here, you know, they're very vulnerable. We're seeing people at their worst in the hospital, and to try to keep that in mind that, you know, even though this might be a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 kind of deal for us, and we're used to coming to the hospital and seeing patients really sick, they're not used to feeling that way, and the families are not used to having their loved ones in the hospital, and it feels very vulnerable. It's just so important, especially with patients as well, just to, and the families, is just to keep that level of respect there and know that they're an individual and not just another patient.
You're a patient, but you're more than just a number.
Sometimes you just have to be an ear to the patients, and that's sometimes all you need to do is just listen.
It's the people that I work with, the staff, the patients, the physicians, the providers, my peers in leadership.
It is kind of an odd thing. You would not think that an oncology unit would be a positive place, but it is one of the most positive energies I've ever experienced.
I started out not knowing what was going to happen, and when I walked out of here, I had a new perspective on life. It was all positive. When I was in the hospital and I was ambulatory, I was able to get down to the gift shop and I bought a card, and I started thanking all the people who had helped me. And I had to start writing smaller and smaller because I was running out of room because there were so many people.
Everybody is given a special gift, and I really believe that mine is to give good care.
How do you say thank you and really mean it?
But now I'm a full-time nursing student, wrapping up my first year of clinicals.
I'm glad you're there.